Hi friends, I'm excited to be back with you today to share another layout. I am Sarah Millerhouse and I am making a layout today using the Project Life kit. I do also use a couple of things from the color kit and the cardstock kit. So what I am doing today is I'm making a wreath of circles. And so I took all of the Project Life cards and started there by cutting out some circles. I still love my old school Creative Memories circle cutters. I have a really fancy different kind of circle cutter that I could use, and I still always go back to these because I get the perfect sizes. And anyway, I'm still using them. So here I'm cutting, this is another Project Life card. I also cut my photos in circles, two of my photos in circles. One of them is a rectangular shape. And then I threw in some of the cardstock papers from the cardstock kit this month, and it has that great, those white polka dots that you see up there in the top right on my mat. Those are all the B-sides of the cardstocks. So they're perfectly coordinated, and I loved using those on this layout. So here I'm distressing the edges of some of those and then backing my picture. And then here I took some of those circles that I cut, the larger circles that I cut, and used the linen texture metal die to add texture to that circle. And I love how that turns out. So I will tell you, it's much better if you cut the circle first than if you were to try to it would be hard to use the die first and then try to cut a circle from it. So my suggestion here would be cut the circle first so that your little pieces, because some of those little lines are very thin and it would be hard to cut with a paper cutter or something. And then here I just traced a circle on the background, and that's just going to act as my guide. And I'm going around and placing the circles where I think they might go, just to kind of see, do I have enough? Do I have kind of the right placement of where I want those to go? And then I'm going to take them all back off to add some mixed media to the background. First, I'm going to distress the edges of those. That's what Tim Holtz paper distressor. And now I'm going to use some of the colors from the color kit. So this is Golden Wheat, and it came in the December color kit. And then this pink color is Naughty or Nice. I think that's also from the December color kit. Fair warning on this layout, if you have watched layouts on my channel, you know that I usually give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this layout, you're going to see me go through, that's Shimmers Blew My Mind, from the color kit also, sorry. So you're going to see me go through and do all of this work on this background, and then I didn't like it. So still some great techniques. So I left it in here so you could see all of those beautiful colors and kind of how those look. They are very shiny and beautiful, and I love the colors. I just did too much of them. So you'll rarely hear me say that, but it was a little too much for me. So you're going to see the process. This great stamp set was in the Project Life kit, the December Project Life kit. And so I went through and used some of the stamps on the background. It's a pink fresh ink from the November color kit, maybe. I'm going through and using several of the different circle stamps that are on there. Thought I would love it. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm starting with the die cut pieces that I made using this die cut that I love. You heard me say in my last video that I'm pretty sure that's my favorite metal die ever, and it will probably stay that way. So I love everything about it. Okay, so I'm gluing those down, and I'm only gluing just in the center where I know it's going to be covered up, because I want to be able to fold up the edges of those circles because they've got so much great texture. So I wanted to be able to curl them up a little bit. So I just glued right in the center. Okay, so here I skipped ahead a whole lot. So I used craft foam in between my layers and added lots of layers of circles. I wanted it to look layered and feel layered. And so I did use several different layers of craft foam, and then also have some just glued to the background, some of those circles. So here I'm adding my sweet photos. This is of a day where we made s'mores on the beach at our family beach week that we do. And it was a super fun day, and I thought these colors, it's technically, I guess, a winter collection, but I loved it for beach colors because it just reminded me of the water and the sun and the sunset and all of that. So all of those colors I thought were beautiful for a beach layout. So even if a collection is intended to be one thing, it is great to use it in different ways. And then that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 puffy sticker was perfect because there were 5 cousins in that little picture. So I thought that was a fun little element to add there. Also from the Project Life kit. And you can see off camera I did add some journaling to that circle just above the rectangular photo. I'm going back and adding some puffy stickers. I'm going to make a little cluster of stickers and elements from the Project Life kit. And then here I'm using the alpha stickers to spell out the word s'mores, or s'more. And then I'm going to use one of the puffy stickers that's a clock, so it's s'more time. So like some more time and s'more time. I don't know, in my head it made sense. And then I used one of the little puffy stickers above that says adorbs. And here I am gluing down some sequins. These sequins were actually in the embellishment kit. This was one of the only things that I used that wasn't from the Project Life kit. So the sequins are perfectly coordinated with all of the colors as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put all those on. And then I add some of the Nuvo drops. Those were from the November color kit as well, I think. Okay, so this is where I decided I did not like it. So I loved the circles, I loved all of the patterned paper, but the mixed media on the background was too much. It was just too wide and took up too much visual space, so you didn't really see any of the other pretty elements that were going on. So I left all of it glued down. I didn't want to waste any of those papers or any of the die cuts that I had done or anything like that. So I just go around everything and man, my adhesive stood up to this rough treatment that I had here. And I just cut the background off around it. So everything I left glued down and then cut all of those, cut around the edges. And I took off the sequins that were glued down to that backing piece of paper, and I saved those and I reused them. So I didn't waste anything except a piece of paper is really the only thing. But I thought it was important for you to see that the process is not always perfect. So sometimes you make a layout and you find that there are things about it that you really don't like, and it's okay to try to save it and go back. I used to just scrap the whole thing and start again, like take my photos off and just throw it all away. But now I try to find creative ways to still make it a go. So I think that that's an important thing for scrappers, especially if you're new to scrapbooking, to know that the process is not always perfect. And sometimes you just got to keep going and keep trying at it till you find something that you love. And it's important that you love your pages because you're the one, really you might be the only one that ever looks at them. So you and your kids. So I did add, what you're seeing me here do is add some craft foam to the background or to behind the wreath, just so it was popped up a little bit so that I could go back and add just a hint of mixed media behind it. Because if you know me, you know I couldn't just leave it on a plain white piece of paper. So here I went back with the golden wheat, and I'm doing just a very subtle kind of like peeking out behind, and you're gonna see with paper towels, I'm gonna go, before it dries too much, I'm gonna go and take a lot of that up. So that is a Shimmers that is beautiful. It's from Shimmers Paints, and it's the Shimmers medium. So it comes already wet, and it has lots of sparkle. So I loved that, and I added in 3 places. So kind of like I triangulate around that layout with that color. And here I'm wiping it up. So it is a little darker in real life than it looks here on camera because it's got so much shimmer. It does pick up a lot of the light. So you definitely, on that finished layout, you can see that beautiful golden color, but it doesn't overtake everything else. And then here I'm going back with the Naughty or Nice, and that was an Inklings. I think that's an Inklings from the color kit, December color kit. And so then in between where I had triangulated the yellow, then I go back in between, so in 3 places, and add that pinkish reddish color. And it is gorgeous as well, very shimmery. And I'm gonna do the same thing with that. You can see I'm already going with a paper towel right here, and picking up a lot of that medium. Because I wanted it to be the shimmer and just a touch of color around there. And I end up loving this so much more than I did before. Just needed to be a little bit tighter around the wreath and not so overwhelming. I'm going to dry up the rest of that. And there you can see it's a lot more subtle than it originally was. And now when you're looking at the layout, you do notice the photos, and then the pattern paper shines here. And of course, those die cut circles, I love them. And then the last thing I do here is go back with white acrylic paint and add splatters. So I did water it down. It's white acrylic paint that I added lots of water to, and then I am going to cover up my photos just with a piece of scrap cardstock. And then I'm going to go and splatter that, and then also just add kind of some bigger droplets of that white acrylic paint. And I'm going all around the layout except where my photos are. And then here I do bring the layout closer to the camera so you can see the sparkle and shine as I move it around. And the sequins are beautiful and shiny. And then there's going to be some close-up photos here. So hopefully you enjoyed the process and learned and saw that you can still make it work even if it's not perfect at first. If you enjoyed the process, you can go ahead and like the video, tap the bell for notifications for a new hip kit video every day. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.